Hey everybody, welcome back to RV Miles. Today we're coming to you from the inside of a tiny little space. We're going to get cozy together in the bathroom of the new Sabre 37 RV Miles fifth wheel. I always feel like when I do a video like this, I want to start it off with, what's going on guys, like JD from Big Truck Big RV. Anyway, I'm going to turn you around so you can't see my face. Oh, there I am. Today I wanted to talk about that, RV toilets. There are a lot of videos on YouTube about black tanks and black tank maintenance and keeping your black tank clean, but there's not a lot about actually using the toilet. And a lot of people buy a used RV, they never get a walkthrough or anything. They don't even know how to use an RV toilet. And a lot of people don't know especially how to clean an RV toilet. And there are some big differences. You can do some damage to your RV toilet by not cleaning it properly. So today I'm going to cover those things. Hang tight, I'll be right back. All right, so this is the toilet that comes with this unit. It is a Dometic model. It is ceramic, although it's not entirely ceramic. It's ceramic down here, but this is plastic. Some RVs have all plastic toilets, and that's really going to affect how you clean it. But let's just talk about how these function first of all, okay? You see there's water in the bottom there. There's that black ring there, that's the seal. And then below that, the white part in the middle is the ball valve. When you press on the foot pedal, that ball valve opens up and water comes out of the holes in the side of the toilet and flushes. When you close that ball valve back up, then water remains at the bottom of the toilet. The first thing that I want to talk about, and that a lot of people just didn't know, nobody ever told them. They're wondering why they're getting really bad streaking in their toilet with solid material. It's often because nobody ever told them that you're supposed to fill the bowl up with water, not entirely, but you're supposed to put some water in the bowl before you go number two. So you press down partially on the foot pedal and the toilet is going to start to fill up without the ball valve opening. That's intentional. It's so you can fill it up part way. So I would put maybe about that much in before you do your business. That water is going to take everything down together to try to keep things from streaking on the sides of the toilet. Now, a lot of people say you got to stand there and flush the toilet for, you know, a good 30 seconds or so to let a lot of water down. And that's not a bad idea. But instead of that, what I do is I fill up our black tank every time I empty it. I close up the valve. You always want to have your black tank closed. You never want to leave your black tank open. I close the black tank valve and then I fill the black tank by coming in here and pressing on the toilet flush to about 1/3 full. And that way, my family of 5, I don't have to worry about how much water they're using in the toilet. I know there's enough water in there to deal with the toilet paper and all the waste. And water is the best way to keep everything smelling fresh and everything emptying out of your black tank smoothly. You'll hear people say that over and over. Water is the best way to keep the smells down in your toilet. Now, if you are having smells, that's often because that seal, that black seal, is leaking and that water isn't remaining there. That water is creating the actual seal that's keeping any sewer gases from coming up into your bathroom. If water isn't holding in the toilet, you're going to need to clean that seal or you might need to replace it. So let's talk about cleaning the toilet. You don't want to use whatever you used in your house. This is a ceramic bowl, so it can handle a lot. It's ceramic just like the toilet you have at home. However, that ball valve is not ceramic, and that rubber seal is not ceramic. And those can both be damaged by anything that is caustic, acidic, or abrasive. So that's bleach, that's vinegar, that's stiff bristle brushes, and any sort of powdered cleaner that you might use. So you don't want to use anything like that, partially for that ball valve and that seal. But if you have a plastic toilet and not a ceramic one, anything that's caustic, acidic, or abrasive can break down the gloss on the plastic. And that includes a toilet like this that has the plastic lid if you're cleaning the seat. The gloss on this plastic is part of the manufacturing process. And yes, I will wash my hands and sanitize absolutely everything I'm touching after this. But this seat being plastic, that gloss that you see on there is part of the manufacturing process. If that gloss breaks down, particularly down in the bowl, you're gonna get things sticking. You're gonna get streaking. You're gonna get toilet paper having a problem going down. Maybe you've seen an RV toilet that has sort of an orange or reddish sort of look in the bowl. That's usually bacteria from those areas where the gloss is worn down, where it has found places to sit and stick. So you want to keep that gloss up. So you don't want to use those different things. So what can you use to clean your toilet? Well, some of the manufacturers that make the drop-ins and the additives do sell toilet bowl cleaners. Some of the toilet manufacturers sell RV toilet bowl cleaners. The best thing that I think you can use, that we use, is just some dish soap and a sponge. A lot of people like to get a bleached rag and clean everything down with a bleached rag, and that bleach can cause you issues someday. And bleach really isn't a cleaner. It's a disinfectant, but it's not a cleaner. If you really want to disinfect your toilet, you can use antibacterial dish soap, but look, the bacteria is there the second you use it, right? So I think the best thing you can do is use some hot water, a scrubbing pad. This is a scouring pad on this side. Some people will use the scouring pad and think that that's okay. I don't use the scouring pad. I'm not so sure if that's abrasive enough to remove some of the glossiness. So I generally would just use the sponge side. One of the most annoying things to clean on one of these toilets, so these seats, this section of these seats can get gross. You can replace these with different types of seats. The other thing that we should talk about though is brushes. If you do use a brush on your toilet, and that is one of the better ways to get rid of stuff and to clean the inside, you don't want to use a stiff bristled brush. But the other thing you really don't want to use is a cheap brush where the head is glued on. I have talked to so many people who have used a standard bristled toilet brush like you would use at home to get in there to clean that seal. That seal, by the way, can be damaged by a hard bristled brush. But what happens often is that seal yanks on the head of the brush and the head comes off and it goes down into the black tank. And that's a clog that you're going to have a hard time removing, let me tell you. All right, so like I said before, water is the best thing you can do to keep the smells down. The other thing you can do is add some sort of additive to your tank. There are people that have different methods that involve different ingredients like Calgon. I tend to use a traditional drop-in or pour-in type additive to my black tank. So anytime I dump the black tank, I add that 15 gallons or so of water. You could do a little less, it's fine. And then I use some sort of toilet treatment. And that leads me to the sponsor of today's video, Liquefied RV Toilet Treatment, the no BS toilet treatment that actually works. This stuff is great. It's really hit the market strong and people have been generally very, very happy with it. What you do is, it's hard to do one-handed, but this easy to dispense bottle is not so easy to dispense one-handed, but you loosen this cap up here, the fill cap, and then you squeeze until that section up there, I already done this, but till that section up there fills up to 1 ounce. And it's 1 ounce per 40 gallons. And then you just pour that in and you give it a flush down. You don't want it or any other toilet treatment to just sit in the toilet like you would at home when you have some sort of blue cleaner that you allow to just sit in the toilet until the next time somebody uses it. You don't want to do that. Again, that seal is very, very important. You don't want to damage that seal so that you don't get smells coming up. Now, if your bowl is not retaining water, you can get down in there. I'm going to go shut the water off to show you this next part. Okay, so I've shut the water off and now we can look in here at the seal and see that this is, I can just get down here. I can literally touch it. Again, I will very, very diligently clean my hands and everything. But get down in here and with that rag or a sponge and clean that seal really good, particularly if you've had some hard water. Don't drop the sponge down there. The other thing that can get really gross though is the area below the seal. RV toilets are usually plumbed straight down into the black tank. So that collar that goes down there can get really, really dirty. So you can do a couple things. You can use a brush that won't cause you problems. So I'm going to give you a suggestion for a brush. There's one that Unique makes that is a silicone brush that you can use to clean your seal, that you can use to clean any streaks or anything that you get on the bowl of your toilet. And you can get it down in there to scrub stuff out. The other thing you might want to consider is getting one of these water sprayer wands. These work pretty well. I've got one of them. I just keep it with my sewer hoses and stuff. You do have to run a hose inside your bathroom, and then, you know, have a bucket or something to set the thing in afterwards. Otherwise, you're going to drip water throughout your house. They spray very, very strong. But you want to do this on a regular basis. If it builds up in there and gets really gross, that sprayer is not going to be strong enough to clean it out. The other thing you can do to clean that area in there, that tube, is get a spray bottle with some soapy water, like a big industrial spray bottle, and you can get down in there and spray all around in there. You can use that spray bottle too to get rid of streaks in the bowl. All right, a couple other tips. First of all, if you've got a shower that's plastic, a lot of the same things apply when it comes to cleaners. Just use some dish soap and a rag or a sponge. 2, if you got a fan, which pretty much every RV bathroom has, sure, turn it on when you're going. Sure, turn it on after you've gone. If you're having smell issues, don't turn it on while you're flushing, especially if you're flushing for a long time to add water. It might be counterintuitive. You might think you want to get rid of the smell, but that fan is sucking the smell up from your black tank into your bathroom because there's no trap in the toilet. It's just plumbed directly down into the black tank. If that black seal is still a problem after you've cleaned it, it's still allowing that water to pass through and it's not holding any water inside, replace it. They're really easy to replace. In fact, having an extra seal with you as you travel is not a bad idea. Plus, they make a lubricant you can lubricate them with. All the different RV toilet brands sell a lubricant that you can lubricate them with. If it's hot outside, your black tank is going to smell worse. So if I look at the back of the liquefied bottle here, it mentions that I should double the dose if the temperature is above 85 degrees outside, because heat allows bacteria to grow, and bacteria is what smells. Actually, it's their poop that smells. But you might need to use more of whatever treatment you have. You might need to dump your tanks more. But there's one more thing that could be drawing a smell up into your bathroom, and it could be that your vent to your black tank isn't properly installed or it's clogged somehow. They can get clogged over time. So you have a pipe, like a 2-inch plastic pipe, that runs from your black tank up to a little mushroom vent on the roof of your RV. And sometimes, for whatever reason, the inside of that can get clogged up. I don't know if it's like cobwebs or what, but it can get sort of clogged up in there. And what I've done before is taken that mushroom cap off and drop some ice cubes down that tube that will melt. The weight of those ice cubes will break through whatever is in that pipe and keep the airflow going. Another thing you might consider is replacing that mushroom cap with one of these sort of wind direction airflow type vent caps. When the wind blows across them, they blow in sort of the opposite direction of the wind, and the Bernoulli effect sucks the gases right through them. And I had to do that on our last rig, and I found that very effective. Okay, last thing I want to talk about. RV toilet paper. Do you need to use RV toilet paper? This happens to be RV toilet paper because it came with our rig, and that's how new this rig is. We haven't been in it very long. But as you can see, it's super thin. You can almost see me right through it. You don't necessarily need to use RV toilet paper. It does break down better. It is quite expensive often. You can usually find it very easily. You don't have to go to an RV dealer. They often have it at Walmart and places like that. But we generally find as long as you use any 2-ply septic safe toilet paper, you should be good. All right, that's about it for this episode. But first, I want to thank again the sponsor of this video, Liquefied RV Toilet Treatment. They're giving away an RV. The deadline to enter is almost here. They're giving away a Delta Alliance travel trailer. There's a link in the description where you can sign up for free to enter, and then they have other ways you can enter by buying Liquefied product. So make sure to check them out. Liquefied has been such a great supporter of the channel, and their sponsorship allows so much of what we do to happen. So thanks a lot to Matt, Will, and the other folks at Liquefied. If you got something out of this video, I hope you'll hit the like button. And if you want more like it, subscribe. We put out lots of videos, including our news roundups, but we're doing more and more of these sort of how-to type content videos, and I hope you like them. If you have any questions about using your RV toilet, anything that I missed, please let me know in the comments. Don't be embarrassed that you don't know how to do some of these things. It's weird, it's different. And if nobody gave you a walkthrough or told you how to do it, it can be a little bit confusing. Remember, most of your RVs came with manuals. Your toilet probably has a manual that you can read. It's going to tell you about some of the things about what to clean with and what to not. I'm going to link in the description as well to a good toilet brush option from Unique. They have a great silicone toilet brush. Don't go get a cheap one. Again, you don't want it to fall apart and have part of it drop into your black tank. It is impossible to deal with. Thanks so much for being here, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.